The fishing news is brought to you by Interlux Marine Paint.
Hey there, Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine, coming to you on a frosty cold day as we're finally seeing some seasonable temperatures here across New England. Before we get into this week's video fishing forecast, I just want to let you know that just because we got this cold weather does not mean necessarily that we've got some safe ice just yet at your local lake or pond. While there is some ice up in Maine, I'm hearing some up in Vermont, up in New Hampshire, so those, obviously the more northern reaches around here, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, not really hearing of anything safe just yet. It's been cold this week, but it has not been cold long enough. However, as we're starting to get into that time of the year, we can finally start thinking about ice fishing. It's a good time to check out an article that was just posted at thefisherman.com entitled Ice Awareness, Tips for Enjoying a Safe Hardwater Experience. This goes over some of the different things that you should really pay attention to, necessary gear and so on to experience a safe ice fishing outing this winter. So give it a look. Hopefully by another week and a half of this really cold temperatures, we might see some legitimately safe ice, but until then, take extreme caution. If you do find a frozen lake or pond, I urge you to be very cautious. And you know what? If you do get out, let me know. Shoot me an email, Lapinski at thefisherman.com. Let me see some of those fish that you get. Maybe you'll make it into next week's fishing forecast. And also, one more thing before we get into the report, just want to let you know or remind you that 2015 Dreamboat Challenge grand prize drawing of a brand new Cobia 201cc and a whole bunch more great prizes is set to take place live this coming Saturday, January 9th at 1 p.m. at the New York Boat Show. I just got my tickets heading on down there Saturday morning, so I hope to see a bunch of representatives from New England at the show, and with any luck, one of my subscribers here from New England will walk away with that boat this Saturday, so I'll see you there. All right, moving on into the forecast for this week. We're going to start off, as always, in Connecticut, where there's both herring and stripers to be had in the tidal waters right now, in the Sound and up the tidal rivers, as well as some good pike action taking place, some of the coves along the Connecticut River. Word is those herring that we're seeing down around Norwalk are extra large this year, both fat and long herring, so that's a good thing to hear. And since we got these seasonable temps, it's been in the 20s last couple of nights, striped bass holdovers are still biting, but they're starting to move into their usual winter haunts, the deep water spots. They're bunching up, making it a little bit more difficult to tempt, and we're getting up on that time where the fish start to get maddening. You can see them on the electronics when you're on a boat, but you just cannot get them to hit. But you know what? We've had a really good run the last couple of weeks, so nobody's really complaining. Another note from Connecticut, Capt Greg of the Black Hawk continues to sail out to Block Island as that cod bite there is absolutely awesome. And he passed along news this week that he just secured new dockage for the boat for the remainder of the season. It'll be located in Stonington Harbor, which cuts his ride in half as opposed from a standard port sailing out of Niantic. He plans to sail this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so check on the boat. Give the office a call and reserve your tickets to get in on this awesome fishing that's going on right now before it passes you by. Then moving on over into Rhode Island, as I just noted, cod fishing on Block Island is awesome this season. As long as the winter and the weather holds up, it shows no sign of slipping. Our friends at the Francis Fleet report that both clams and jigs are producing well right now, and there's a ton of bait being seen on the cod grounds in the form of herring, squid, and mackerel. Another positive note is that mixed in with all the keeper fish they've been finding, lots and lots of shorts. Now this obviously provides a glimpse that we got a really good fishery developing out there with a good future ahead. So good to hear that we've got bait, keepers, and plenty of small fish to fill in the coming seasons. And lastly, moving on up into Massachusetts. Prior to this little cold snap, there was some solid action on both trout and bass on some of the local ponds, according to Red Top, as shop employee Jacob got into a good bite fishing with shiners last week. Now this should continue until a skim ice forms and then pick back up when ice fishing really gets going, hopefully going to take place very soon. And lastly, in Massachusetts, we just signed on to appear at the second annual Goose Hummock Offshore's Blue Water Bash, taking place on February 5th and 6th in Quincy, Massachusetts. Now, this two-day event picks up on the successful format that Captain Eric began with the hookup several years ago, and it promises to be a must-attend event for any tuna or offshore fishermen. Check out thefisherman.com for complete details on this event and to find out how you can get your tickets. I look forward to seeing you there. So there you have it. I'm Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine, wishing you tight lines on the water.
The fishing news is brought to you by Interlux Marine Paint.